Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make a simple, easy, and affordable necklace and bracelet in jewel tone and white pearl color beads with gold lobster claw clasp and stringed in gold 7-strand beading tiger tail wire. Since they are of the same design, I only need to show you one. This video has compiled photos put together in a slideshow to make it easier for me to show you how this is done. I labeled the materials that you need to use to finish the projects. To help you see each of them clearly, just use full screen when you view this video. You can also press pause to view the frames that show the labeled materials as well as the step-by-step video instructions. If you have any questions, please write them down on the comments below and I would be happy to answer them for you. Let's get started. On my hand is a crimp bead. This is the first thing that you need to string in your wire. On my middle finger is the wire guardian or the wire protector. This is used to prolong the life of your wire since this is the one that rubs against the clasp instead of the wire. You'll have to slide the wire in one of the tubes at the bottom, go all the way to the open channel on top, past the hole to exit the tube on the other side. Now you have two wires sticking out of the tubes on both sides. The next step is to attach the lobster claw clasp by running the short end of your wire through the hole at the bottom. String it all the way past one of the tubes of the wire guardian. You can do this towards the end, but it's easier to do this step at this point since you have more area to work with. It is entirely up to you. Next, you'll have to slide the short end of your wire in the crimp tube. At this point, you'll see the two wires sticking out of the crimp tube, the long end and the short end. The short end should be just about 1/2 inch long so you don't waste too much wire. Now you'll have to pull the long end of the wire to tighten and prepare for crimping the crimp bead or crimp tube. Make sure that your wire is sitting on top of the wire guardian and not loose as you pull the long end of the wire before crimping the crimp tube. Otherwise, you'll have to start over. Now, I am ready to crimp the crimp bead or crimp tube. I have labeled the parts on the pliers indicating which part or where the crimp tube gets pressed or crimped first. Just follow these instructions to make a perfect or near perfect crimp. Make sure your wires are not crossed before you start crimping. Place the crimp bead in the middle of the second hole on your crimper pliers that looks like a half moon. Gently press it. Check the wires sticking out of the tubes. Make sure they are tight and that the crimp is looking good before folding it like a book. To fold the crimp, slide it sideways on the first hole of your crimper pliers. This will make this crimp tube fit inside the crimp cover. This is the crimp cover. This will make your necklace or bracelet look professionally done. Once closed, this will look just like a regular bead. Slide the crimp bead or tube into the crimp cover opening and make sure it is centered inside and the tubes on the wire protector are not trapped inside the crimp cover. Now, using a chain nose pliers, close the crimp cover opening by pressing it gently. Now you are ready to string your beads. Hide the short end of your wire in 2 or 3 beads. String the beads into your desired length. Once you're done stringing your beads, the next step is to string your crimp tube or crimp bead. Slide your wire in one of the tubes on the wire guardian or wire protector. Thread it through all the way to the open channel on top past the hole, exiting the second tube on the other side. Now slide the wire coming out of the second tube on the wire guardian to the crimp tube or crimp bead, then into the 2 pearls next to it. Pull the wire to tighten, making sure that it is sitting on the open channel on top of the wire guardian and not loose. Don't pull it too tight. You don't want your necklace or bracelet out of shape. We are using the same procedure as the first crimping, except we are not attaching a lobster claw clasp. Make sure that your wires are not crossed inside the crimp tube before you start crimping. When you are satisfied with how it looks, then you can start crimping the crimp tube. Place the crimp tube or crimp bead in the middle of the second hole on your crimper pliers that looks like a half moon. Gently press it. Check the wires sticking out of the tubes. Make sure they are tight and the crimp is looking good before folding it like a book. To fold the crimp, slide it sideways on the first hole of your crimper pliers. Slide the crimped bead or tube into the crimp cover opening and make sure it is centered inside and the end tubes of the wire protector are not trapped inside the crimp cover. Now, using a pair of chain nose pliers, close the crimp cover opening by pressing it gently. The last step is to cut the extra wire sticking out of the second pearl with your wire cutter, and you're done. I hope this video helps you make your first necklace or bracelet. It is fun and you'll save money making and designing your own jewelries. Believe it or not, I am new to jewelry making myself, so if I can do it, you can too. If you like this video, please click on the like button at the bottom right corner of your YouTube screen. Don't forget to subscribe for more of my how-to videos in the future. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.